every day this week. That's only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions to apply. See DraftKings.com for more details. That's DraftKings.com for more details. Good luck.
Oh, my goodness. Clay Travis is back at it again. Did you hear this on Outkick the Coverage?
If you're the Lakers and you're the 1 seed, I'd actually be a little bit nervous that the Trailblazers might get in because the Trailblazers are the equivalent of a 4 or 5 seed when they're actually healthy. But the big question, I think, going forward is going to be, is the NBA going to let its overall brand of entertainment really take the cake here? Or are they going to continue to embrace so many non-entertainment, non-basketball related things? For instance, and I talked about this in the first hour of the show, the names on the back of the jerseys, I don't think there are that many people who think that makes sense. You're already kneeling for the national anthem. You already have Black Lives Matter literally written on the court. There are unbelievable amounts of commercials that are running making political statements on behalf of NBA players. Do you really need names on your jerseys? Especially when guys like LeBron James and Paul George aren't doing it? I think hopefully by the time we get to the playoffs, they'll just go back to the normal jerseys. They can auction these off for charity. You make it stand for something great. Good for them. But I think when you start to bring in the more casual viewer, a lot of times the more casual viewer is not going to know the player. And so being able to see the name on the back of the jersey is actually somewhat useful to a lot of viewers in terms of once the playoffs start and you might be watching teams that you're not as familiar with as you're familiar with your favorite team. Also, I don't know what's going on with Zion back in the bubble and everything else, but it doesn't seem like the Pelicans are that gung-ho about making the playoffs.
To get the rest of what Clay Travis said, podcast it by searching Outkick the Coverage. And as always, you can hear Outkick the Coverage with Clay Travis weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific, right here on Fox Sports Radio. Vegas! Did you miss this on Straight Outta Vegas with the voice of Vegas, RJ Bell?
You've got a best bet. Let's hear it.
New York Giants under 6 wins. I frankly gave this out back early in June, RJ, under 6.5.
So really what you're telling us is that you were so sharp, you gave it out months ago, and if you had acted then, you got a better line. So all the new listeners, because our show's growing so fast, tough break, buddy.
Hey, they're still going to win money, RJ, and it's all about strength of schedule. 2019, the Giants had the easiest schedule in the NFL. This year, they have the second hardest. Cupcake schedule last year, Giants can only win 4 games. RJ, how are they going to win 6 games now with one of the most difficult schedules in the NFL? They're only favored once all year long.
It's Straight Outta Vegas. Weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. Fox Sports Trending now.
Philadelphia Eagles head coach Doug Peterson has tested positive for the coronavirus. The team says the 52-year-old is asymptomatic and is presently doing well. The Minnesota Vikings announced this morning they've officially signed general manager Rick Spielman to a multi-year contract extension. NBA Adrian Wojnarowski reported moments ago that Milwaukee's Mike Budenholzer and Oklahoma City's Billy Donovan have been voted the NBA's co-coaches of the year, and that Toronto's Nick Nurse was 1 vote away from making it a 3-way tie for the award. Miami Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra confirmed a short time ago that Jimmy Butler will play today against the Raptors. And in Major League Baseball, the Phillies this morning reported no new positive COVID-19 test results, so they'll face the Yankees tonight in New York. I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
We are Fox Sports.
Isn't it about time for somebody's favorite radio program?
The Tony Bruno Show.
The man chosen to save American radio from its horrible future.
He didn't invent radio. He just perfected it.
Tony Bruno Show with Harry Maid. Parental discretion is advised.
The godfather of sports radio.
It is a final.
Here is Tony Bruno.
Tony Bruno.
Beautiful.
as a wise man once said, you are looking live at live sports action. Starting at noon and going all the way to midnight, Harry Mays. It's like the Thursday of the NCAA tournament when all of the strappers around the world congregate around their television sets, around their pools, their gambling sheets, and watch meaningless college basketball games from teams who have no shot of winning the national championship, Harry. But it's still for gambling.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's all about gambling.
Back when we used to be able to congregate at places called bars.
Yes, I remember those.
Restaurants and bars.
Yeah.
Those were the good old days.
They were the good old days.
I know.
Pre-Robin.
Jeez,
you're right.
But, yeah, it's coming at you fast and furious now, starting off at noon today. We've already had one final in the books.
It is a final now. I haven't done this in the daytime.
I know.
And we'd like to thank the New York Rangers for participating in this year's Hockey in August campaign.
Stanley Cup qualifier.
The qualifier. And,
yeah.
again, I don't like to count people out prematurely, Harry.
Well.
But let's just say this. Is there any way the New York Rangers can come back from 2 games to none down in a best of 5, and that you think they can beat the Carolina Hurricane 3 straight games, Harry?
Well, strange things can happen in hockey series.
Depending on the puck bounces, and especially in August, Harry. You don't see the puck bounce much in August.
Yeah, I saw a couple pucks bouncing off of rumps over the weekend that ended up in the back of the net, Tone. But you know what I mean? Like, it's not in this type of scenario because, like, when you're changing venues and going back home to your building or something, you can catch fire maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you get one game, then you get, one game at a time, kind of all those cliches and everything. But I don't know about this neutral site stuff. There's, it's no team has an advantage.
You're absolutely right. And if the Rangers were going back to Madison Square Garden, you'd say, hey, they got a chance. They win one. They steal one at home. But you're right. And now they're probably going to have to pull their goaltender.
Oh, no.
Jeremy Roenick's going to join us. We'll talk more hockey in the upcoming segment.
They are up against it, Tone.
They really are, Harry. The first team with their backs against the wall so far in this hockey reboot, eh? In the organizations are now concerned up there at MSG.
And they're going to have to go to the young Russian, I think, between the pipes. I was talking to some Ranger fans over the weekend. They love this kid.
Yep. And for the great Sir, we'll talk with Jeremy Roenick more about that. Meanwhile, the big story is not hockey. It's not the NBA. It's not the Pac-12. It's not Tom Brady's 43rd birthday, which is today, Harry, as you well know.
Mm-hmm.
It is The Rock. The Rock had a major announcement today, Harry. Let's go to the tape. Do we have The Rock?
Yeah. The Rock has a big announcement.
The Rock has a big announcement, Harry. He announced it first. And the big announcement is, you know what it is? The Rock has bought the XFL, Harry.
Finally, The Rock has come back to the XFL?
XFL.
Oh, man.
I believe we have tape of The Rock talking about his newest venture. Not the, what is the show that he does with it? It's like
Ballers.
No, not that. No, I'm talking about
Challenge.
the Titan Challenge.
Challenge.
Not the Tennessee Titan Challenge.
Okay.
Not the, remember the Titans, not those Titans that we never forgot. He does Titan Challenge, which is one of those athlete ninja type shows. Athletes that do all the different disciplines, jump through fire.
It's pretty cool.
No, I love that stuff, man.
Yeah.
You got to have upper body strength to do that stuff, though. I got to start lifting again. Do you even lift, bro?
I can do about 4 push-ups. Over under set at 3.5.
Meanwhile, Tony Bruno, Harry Mays, if you're just joining us for the first time, Miss Robbins got her plaid on today. Is this your bye week or something, Ron?
She almost looks like she's wearing one of those tartan jackets that you didn't like, Tony. Remember when they gave those away 2 weeks
at the golf
in a row?
tournaments? Yeah. I'm glad they stopped giving those away, Harry.
Right.
I think the Men's Warehouse is having a buy one, get 6 free sale now that the Men's Warehouse, unfortunately, has filed for bankruptcy. And I pointed out this morning, Robin.
The final straw. I agree
this
with
is
you.
why this show is so well ahead of the curve. We knew 2 Fridays ago, Harry, when we went live to the rehearsal for Eitan Chander's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2 weeks ago. And Eitan Chander told us that his tux that he had made, and we didn't want to mention the organization.
Yeah.
But the tux, he didn't have it made. You go in and rent a tux. He didn't buy one. And I guess the alterations weren't right. His shirt was too tight.
Mm-hmm.
The cufflinks fell
broke.
apart.
Yeah.
And now here we are, less than 2 weeks later. The Men's Warehouse. They said he was going to like the way he looked. and they couldn't guarantee it.
Correct.
And now they filed for Chapter 11. And I'm not rooting against companies folding.
No.
A lot of people like the Men's Warehouse. You know what else went out of? They're not out of business, but Lord and Taylor.
I've gotten some nice stuff
and
there.
Joseph A. Bang.
But who wears, like, if you're doing Zoom meetings now, who's going to wear a suit?
Well, some people still do, Robin. I don't, luckily. I just like to go nude, like a lot of people have been doing lately. Meanwhile, Jeremy Roenick, John McMullen, the big story in football, Harry, is Eagle coach Doug Peterson, who just 2 weeks ago was saying, hey, I like the whole situation with the bubble. I feel safe. And then he gets the Rona. How long before he's declared unfit to play and that they should shut down? Has any writer in the Philadelphia area have been paying attention, or anybody national scribes who cover the National Football League, have they suggested that the Doug Peterson coronavirus positive test means that the Eagles should basically shut down the season and not bother competing, and that Carson Wentz should go back out to North Dakota and resume hunting in the middle of the summer? I think it's turkeys and quail right now.
Is it quail season?
I have to check. I haven't looked at my North and South Dakota hunting licenses lately, Harry.
I think those columns are currently being edited right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Well, John McMullen, he's not one of those guys. He's going to join us. He is one of our guys. He'll join us later on to talk about the latest in the NFL, including the story that broke in Denver this morning, which is the Denver Broncos, Harry. The two unhappiest guys in Denver today are Drew Lock and Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, no
Remember,
kidding.
Melvin Gordon just signed, right? He just went there complaining in San Diego, Los Angeles / San Diego Chargers. So now he's going to be running behind a line that has lost their starting right tackle, Jawan James, not because he's injured. He only played 3 games last year. Remember, they signed Jawan James as a free agent last year for a 4-year, $51 million contract. And he only played 3 games because he had a knee injury. He got a $17 million signing bonus, and now he's announced that he does not want to play. He has opted out.
He's opting out.
Because of the coronavirus. And so 3 games, $17 million, Harry. You know what I say to that?
That's good work if you can get it, Tom.
I'm going to give him a roaring round of applause.
Even Chase Daniels in all of that. Chase Daniel and Sam Bradford are bowing down to Jawan James at this very moment, Tony.
Wow. I'd have to work 40 years to try to make that. And then I'd be in my hundreds. I'd be older than Olivia de Havilland, who died at 104. Anyway, that's enough about that. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We will rip the Pac-12 today, Harry. It's not my style to rip these student athletes in college football. It's bad enough that the Pac-12
Do they still play college football
I don't
in the
even
Pac-12?
know. But even if they don't, they want to make threats. Everybody's got threats. We're not going to do it unless you do this.
Right.
Right?
Well, it's only like, 12 or 13 players, right? The last I looked.
They want to shut it down, Harry. They have the worst TV deal in all of major college football, the Pac-12.
Yes, they do.
Even the Pac-12 people will tell you this. This is my opinion. And they probably have the worst of the major leagues, of the Power 5 conferences. Would you say, Harry?
Yes, I would.
Are they the worst of the Power 5?
I think they're the weakest. I don't know about the worst,
not
but
the worst.
the weakest.
You're right.
Yeah.
And they have some good teams. I'm not saying the entire Pac-12 stinks. Just most of the Pac-12 stinks. And then you got the Washington and Washington State teams that Jeffrey Lurie and the Eagles love drafting guys from. And I'm not saying they don't put out good pros in the Pac-12. It's just that every time the Eagles here in Philly draft somebody from the Pac-12,
it doesn't go very well.
Yeah, something goes terribly, terribly wrong. Even in basketball, for the 76ers, some Pac-12 players have not exactly panned out, Harry. And, I lived out there for 11 years, so I'm not a Pac-12 hater.
Don't even get me started on the 76ers.
Well, no, we won't. You going to go all Joel Embiid on Shake Milton on me during the show, Harry? I've done it to Robin every once in a while.
Who
the
hell is Shake Milton to get in that guy's face? Seriously.
Hey, he was deemed the starting point guard, Harry.
I think that experiment's over. Rothstein, are we shelving the Shake Milton point guard experiment?
I'm going to take this from our good buddy Eitan Shander. Joel Embiid has finally found a shake he does not like.
Shander said that today?
Shander did say that.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I would love to take credit for that, ladies and gentlemen, but I will not. I mean, here's the thing. You got me started. Tony Bruno cut me off. How are they arguing on the basketball floor? That's a Brett Brown problem. You guys don't know what's going on, your defensive assignments, your offensive assignments. Shake can't get Joel the ball. It's a joke.
But he had 3 fouls early, and then they sat him down, and that's when he went off on Joel Embiid, and then Joel Embiid apparently dropped a really nasty thing. He didn't do what Joe Kelly said in the Astros-Dodgers brawl last week.
Right.
They didn't make a T-shirt. Did any of the Process podcast guys in this town, all 60 podcasts that are up on the 76ers, have they made a shirt yet about Shake Milton?
I don't think so.
I think they'll be selling them at the Shake Shack if they ever reopen.
That's where Shake Milton's going to be working.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Steak and Shake if he gets traded to Indiana, who beat the 76ers the other day. How about that good steak? Shake Shack and Steak and Shake knowledge right there. You're not getting that in any other show.
You're not.
You have to have good middle-of-the-nation flyover country knowledge to drop that, Harry. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But Rothstein today has his camo Sixers jersey. The Sixers should be wearing camo after that performance.
Yeah,
the other day.
they should be in full disguise.
Yeah, they need to hide out down there.
They should be wearing one of those big mossy oak or whatever those camo things they wear to hunt.
Yeah,
you know?
crawling through the weeds.
With all the leaves all over it. Yeah.
It's a good job right there. This is like a rural show. This show represents the inner cities all the way to the hunting grounds in middle America. America, baby. Merc. I would play the national anthem, but I don't want everybody to stand up today.
Or kneel or whatever you want to do.
Just have a seat, enjoy the show, and we're going to have a good time, I think. Meanwhile, Winnipeg's already up on Calgary, and a lot of pushing and shoving, and these two clubs don't like each other, Harry.
I'll tell you, that's one thing that's really stood out to me. Besides really good hockey, there's been a lot of physicality within all of these series.
I understand Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney and Governor Murphy in New Jersey have now condemned the NHL for not practicing social distancing in their games.
They're too violent?
It's way too many guys close contact. They're not wearing masks. They're way in close contact. Mm-hmm. Some of these guys are actually like getting spittle on the other guy.
Right.
How has hockey not been shut down yet, Harry, is the question that I have.
Snot rockets?
There's snot rockets. You know when they get in the penalty box, the snot rockets are flying.
Absolutely.
Jeremy Roenick will talk more. We got a lot of baseball, too. The Phillies will finally play baseball tonight.
Yes.
Unless that hurricane, that tropical storm Isaiah's, comes in sooner.
Did Jose name the hurricane?
Yeah, what do you get?
It sounds like it's a plural. Like
yeah,
Isaiah, what up, Isaiah?
I thought Isaiah was singular. There's an S at the end of it. What up with that?
What up?
What up, Isaiah's?
They definitely consulted Jose on
Yes,
this
they did. It's about time he got some power and got to name one of the earthquakes.
Speaking of people from the show, just a really quick update on intern.
No, they were great today. That's great hockey. Actually.
Intern Conlon, a.k.a. Couch Guy. He had a really bad concussion. He will be back tomorrow, but we're letting him one more day of rest.
He hasn't cleared the concussion protocol.
We have a stringent protocol on this show for concussions and coronavirus.
Yes.
He's still in the blue tent.
Yes. He's in the blue tent, is right.
Yeah.
It's a blue tarp I have in my backyard, in my massive backyard garden, Harry. We'll show you some live shots of that later on. Cal is here. He's back from Penn State, Harry. They tried to run him off the campus, but he came back here. He is in the wine cellar wearing a Grateful Dead T-shirt.
Yeah, I actually like that T-shirt.
How about that? Jeremy Roenick's going to join us. Stick around. We got a lot of stuff coming up. It's only Monday already. Does it feel like Monday?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
All right, all the people that are on YouTube, Periscope, Facebook, seriously, at this point, we're welcoming all the new people that are finding the show, but we are telling you at this time to make the switch to Twitch because that's the only place where you can watch the entire 3 hours, all the interviews and everything, and hear the music and all the banter back and forth, including during the commercial breaks. You can't hear it on SiriusXM. You can only get it on twitch.tv/Tony Bruno Show, so make the switch to Twitch, bitch.